I have been muted this entire time because I am super smart. I have been
Uh,
so. I have had a brain the size of a watermelon. Absolutely, like, look at it like elephant brain here. Um, so welcome back to Warframe Wednesdays. I'm your host, Fraggoth, and with me today is Punkbuster28.
Hello, guys.
Um, so today, so Punkbuster was asking about Nova, right?
Yes,
Yeah. So
because I
with
went
Nova,
into the game, but I didn't went to check his abilities.
so let me check. Uh, let me look at Nova here and give a solid breakdown. So her first ability is Null Star. It makes a number of little uh, droplet things rotate around you. These basically will shoot out of Nova and hit enemies um, and do a certain amount of damage. It's not a lot, but it's a little. Um,
Mm.
their main purpose, though, is that they actually give you damage reduction to your health. So while you
Okay.
have them on, they can stack up. I think it's each particle it says here is plus 5% damage reduction, stacking up to 90, which would require how many? Let's do some math. 90 divided by 5. You would need 18 in order to actually achieve that, which is probably doable with max strength. Um, they're not great for damage. They're okay for the temporary damage reduction you'll get. Um, and they're cheap, so why not? Why not just chuck them out there? Her second ability is
Yep.
Antimatter Drop, which shoots out this big ball in front of you, which will do damage, but will increase in damage if you shoot into it. So there are some really strong Nova builds where you build for range and damage, and you shoot out this little ball. It floats in front of you slowly, and it follows your cursor, kind of like the rocket launchers in Half-Life 2, and you shoot into the
Oh, right.
projectile as it's floating there, and once it collides with either an enemy or a surface, it'll explode, and with high range and high damage, it's going to do a mountain. Big damage when it explodes. Her third ability is Wormhole, which is a wormhole. I believe it's based off of range, is its distance. Um, it's one of the absolute fastest ways to get across the plains and Fortuna. If you go for high range and you just keep spamming them out in front of you as you float through the air in like a bullet jump trajectory, um, and you'll go zip. Great for linear movement, not so great for maneuverability. Um, you can also, if you're exceedingly precise, use it to transport other things, such as if you did Plague Star, the little drones for Plague Star you can use to transport it with, but it has to be like dead center on them. And then her fourth ability, which is where she really shines, is Molecular Prime. So that causes a cast that goes out from you in a radius over time. And what it does is any enemies that go into that radius as it expands will will get highlit um, with an energy aura, which will make them take double damage. And if you build for strength, it'll slow them down considerably. By default, it slows them by like 75%, I think. Um,
Yeah.
if you build for anti-strength, that is, you use corrupted mods to have less strength than you otherwise would, so sub 100, percent power strength, it'll actually speed them up, and that can be very handy on defense missions where you want the waves to go quicker.
And
Um,
farming.
yeah, another another thing worth noting is because it is a radius that expands from you, and there's a couple other abilities that do this. Instead of building for range to cover a large area, you want to build for durations because it'll keep expanding. Having a little bit of range is good, because that'll set how wide it is by default and then expand from there. Um, if you've used Gara, it's like that. Her fourth, it expands kind of like that, except faster, and doesn't actually provide a wall.
Okay.
That's kind of how its physical movement works. It expands faster, it goes farther, but it is that's the rough idea for maximizing your area coverage with that. Is you kind of want to you want to remember to have some duration in there, so it'll keep going for a while. Um, what's her passive? I don't even know. When knocked over, emit a 6-meter defensive burst that topples attacking enemies and deals 250 damage. Well, that's nice. Um, but what I really wanted to talk about today, because there's new augments, and one of them is for Baruch. And I'm sure just about everybody who streamed yesterday has already covered this, but it's kind of a big deal. So Baruch. Baruch is a kind of a special boy, in that his exalted weapon doesn't actually use energy to use, but it requires you build up, or reduce, rather, a gauge called... what is it called? Restraint. And to do that, you either cast Elude, which makes any projectile shot at you within a certain degree arc be dodged, but it drains energy over time, and that does, I think it's like 0.8% of the gauge per projectile dodged. It doesn't, I don't think, do anything to things like radial shockwaves from enemies, but I think melee attacks it'll dodge. Lull, which does some odd percent per enemy that you do it with, which puts enemies to sleep for X duration in Y radius. Um, and you can then assassinate them at that point. But that will also reduce your restraint, allowing you to get to Serene Storm and Desert Wind faster. Desolate Hands, which is his third, puts a bunch of daggery things around you, kind of like, which operate almost exactly like, in fact, um, Nova's 1. Um, and what they do is they shoot out of you. Any enemies they hit, they disarm, and they do a little bit of damage. And I want to say they reduce damage to you while they're equipped as well. Yeah, they do. Um, those are great. They do like 1 point something percent of the restraint gauge per one that hits, so keeping those up at all times is really handy if you want to get your restraint gauge down so that you can use Serene Storm. Um, so Serene Storm. Serene Storm is already really strong. Because it does big wide area attacks. It's shorter range than, say, Excalibur's Radial Javelin, but it does more in cones. Big cones. So anything in areas around you gets just absolutely shellacked. Um, absolutely destroyed. Um, but there's this new augment mod that came out for Baruch that applies to Desert Wind, and his, whatever his fourth ability is called. What's his fourth ability called? Serene Storm and Desert Wind. So this is called Reactive Storm. So it's a Serene Storm augment. Desert Wind is granted a plus 35% status chance and changes its damage type to match enemy weaknesses. Now, for a rough idea, Serene Storm's, the Desert Wind weapon, but Serene Storm, has by default, like, you can get to high crit chance numbers without even trying. So you're always critting, and it already does a frig amount of damage. Let me see an empty one here. Here we go. So you're looking at, per hit, 310 impact damage just per hit, and that does it in a radius. You've got, like, by default, a 50% crit chance with a 2.0 critical damage multiplier. That's substantial. Now, if you put on a maxed out most basic crit chance mod, that goes up to 110% chance. That's the wrong mod. Where is it? True Steel. Goes up to 110% crit chance, which is dumb, because you're always critting, and with a 10% chance to get a red crit on top of that. So what this mod does, though, is it makes it so that that whole impact damage, which is kind of a is kind of in terms of actual damage output, a lot of enemies resist it, and the ones that don't have shields, and it's just the shields that don't resist it, and take
Okay.
extra damage from it. Um, this mod makes it so that you're going to do whatever element that enemy is weakest to with every single hit. So that means you could be built for magnetic damage, and the damage it would be dealing to say a Grineer trooper would be radiation, and it doesn't care. It doesn't care. And so you're just ramping up your damage by huge amounts. So you can just build your damage for just as high as you can get for any given damage number, not having to worry about elemental affinities or interactions at all, because it's just going to do the most damage it possibly can at all times. And it's got status, so going for something like what's that mod called? What are you? Condition Overload is a natural fit, because you do plus 120% melee damage per status type affecting the target. And you're just going to do status all day, every day. So what I've got for my build, and it's kind of temporary, there's serious room for improvement here, is just True Steel to get my crit chance over 100%, Organ Shatter to boost my crit damage, um, Primed Pressure Point because damage, Primed Reach because reach. Give me a minute. I'm going to double check to see that reach actually does anything. That would probably be a good idea because I can replace that with another mod. I like hitting in wide areas. I'm checking the wiki right now. Baruch. Exalted Weapon. Abilities. Here we go. Where are you? Serene Storm. Da 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 da.
But his new augment is at which faction?
Good question. Good question.
Let me check here by Red Velvet.
It is. I think I got it from New Loka, but there should be one other that has it. Where are you? It is called.
You get
Okay, there's Endless Lullaby, which is another augment that he just got, which makes it so that every time you uh, interaction kills someone with your lull ability, which puts them to sleep, it does another cast of lull. Um, basically. Uh, Here we go. Reactive Storm. It is. Let me link it to you. Let me invite you first of all. And so Reactive Storm, you can get it from New Loka. And let me check to see who else has it. I think probably like Steel Meridian.
Steel Meridian just went on, but I didn't check now all of them. But I want to try to get myself up to Master Rank 20. So I don't know if you want to also explain to some of the people how Mastery Rank works.
Okay, so Mastery Rank. I'm just posting that in our chat so I can get at it quickly and remember its name. So Mastery Rank, basically you gain Mastery just by leveling up weapons. It only works the weapons and warframes and sentinels and other weapons and sentinel weapons and dogs and cats and arcwings and arcwing weapons and the boards and the amps. Basically anything you can level up in the game gives you mastery. Only up to its max level though. Once you form a something, you do not get additional mastery from it, except for the fringe examples like Kuva weapons and the Paracesis, which will give you mastery for every time you form one of those weapons, it gets an additional 2 max levels to it. So it goes from being level 30 to 32, to 32, from 32 to 34, 34 to 36, 36 to 38, 38 to 40. You have to form it 5 times, and each of those additional 2 levels will also give you mastery. I believe it is 100 points of mastery per level on a weapon, and 300 or 200 per warframe. And that's...
Yes, how I remember it is with your Warframe, if you get it from rank 0 to 30, you get 6,000 XP to your Mastery rank.
Yeah.
Your weapons are from 0 to 30 is 3000 XP, and the same. It's the same for your companions and your vehicles.
I want to say Archwings are the same as Warframes, and I want to say Sentinels might be the same as Warframes, but I could be very wrong in that because it's been a long time since I paid attention. Because I'm Mastery rank 28, and my bar goes up by tiny, tiny
Then
percentages.
there's a Kuva weapon. Kuva weapon mix.
Yep, I want
Uh,
the Kuva core tech. I still don't have one.
I just had this one, but I haven't done. So they have done an update also on the Kuva.
Yeah, so
Um,
for each weapon, each Kuva weapon will go up to Mastery rank 40. Um,
yeah,
or up to level 40, but you have to format it 4 times. 5 times rather, which is onerous for new players, and I get that. But you're also going to have a weapon that can fit literally anything you can possibly stick on it.
yeah,
Mod cost becomes completely irrelevant at that point. You only have to worry about space, um,
yes.
which it is what it is. So there was something I was delving into here. Oh,
And
right, I was checking to see if range affected desert wind. Let me double check that
yeah, the
real quick.
other thing also with the update that's coming, the other um, two new prime is gonna be two new prime warframes are gonna be unbolted and ban and ash prime are gonna get vaulted. So the new ones that are coming back
Oh,
is
Oberon and Necros, I think, are the
with
new ones.
Necros,
Yep.
and they are ones you want to get.
Well, Necros Prime, sure. Oberon Prime, eh.
Yeah,
Can
Necros prime also
I mean
because
you don't strictly speaking ever need uh any primes,
yeah,
but some of them are a lot easier to get a hold of than others than their
yes,
defaults like Vauban Prime. Necros Prime isn't too bad. Oberon Prime is not at all as easy as regular Oberon. Ivara Prime is much easier to get a hold of than Ivara. That takes a lot of spy mission runs.
yes. I
Oy.
know. I've spent so many times with Vivara Prime,
Yeah,
and then also um,
I still don't have Ivara
the
Prime because I haven't
hardest
sat down and ground for her.
one of the hardest parts to get from the primes is Banshee. There's one part of Banshee that is extremely hard to get because the drop rate is so low. I think it was a system,
I think all
so
the
not
rare
on.
components are all equalized at something like a 5%. Um, if you do a radiant relic per person, I want to say
Yes.
that's what it is. So even that one should be the same. So let me just check the wiki right here and see if attack range. Okay, attack range does affect desert wind. Now I just have to see if that actually affects the wind waves. Okay, wave range, damage, fall off, and flight speed are not affected by mods. So maybe I can take off range on mine, because most of the damage I'm doing is from the wind waves, and I will swap that with probably Blood Rush because Blood Rush is just disgusting. Uh, that mod is just crazy strong. It was always good,
Yes, I
but
have it as well. Not the ones I like to have. This is mostly my build for swords that I love and I don't get problems with. Is these ones that I love to have on.
yeah, if it's if you have, what is it, primed Fever Strike, I would probably do primed Fever Strike over
Mm,
primed Heavy Trauma, um,
yeah, I
because
don't have that one yet.
because impact damage is kind of questionable, and particularly on the Graham Prime, I would probably go with just another Elemental mod, to be honest, because more sources of damage are better sources of damage, basically. Um, also get, I don't see Pressure Point on here anywhere. I would definitely get Prime Pressure Point if you don't have it yet, and I would, or at
Oh,
least
I
regular
have
Pressure
it.
Point. Regular
Yeah,
pressure
they
point I would do over primed heavy trauma, because that's going to
okay.
boost all your damage as opposed to just impact.
Like that.
Personal recommendation. Don't have to take it to heart.
But
Um,
the one mod I love about all of these mods is Berserker,
oh
especially
yeah,
with Graham,
ton of fun.
because yes, it just increases that attack speed much more.
Okay.
Without it, it does not. And just to get back to the leveling up for like players that are starting and they want to know where to level up, there's two places. If you do it, mostly if you don't have someone that can take you, um, the first one to start to get used to it is on Saturn. It's called Yelian. This one I selected now. That's a great one to do your XP farming. And then the one to get extremely a lot is High Drone, if I'm correct.
So apparently you can't put Blood Rush onto exalted weapons. I did not know this.
Oh, but,
That is
oh yeah, I
unfortunate.
forgot they changed it.
I did not know you couldn't do that. That changes everything for me, and not in a good way. Well,
Yeah.
what I can do though, um,
And the another thing I wanted to say is if people early in the game that what helped me out a lot was this weapon um, for getting, but
oh,
not
Redeemer
the
Prime.
primed one, but you get a
Yeah,
normal redeemer, and once you get used to it, it helps you a lot in getting through your star chart and that for beginning.
yeah, Redeemer is really strong.
Yeah, before that one, I took the. Let's see if I still have it. No, other one was. Where is it? You first get this one. Let me just put it in chat so you can show on the stream. It's this one. Then you, once you've leveled it up, you turn it into, where is that one?
Let me get a slightly less flamboyant frame
Yeah, this is mostly for
so
like
I can showcase
starting.
these. Yeah, there we go. The
Yeah,
Cronin's pretty good. The what does that one go into the Bolt Ace?
yes, bolt ace.
I've got
I'll
that too.
put it in chat. There it is.
Yep,
Then it turns in that, and it is, looks also quite good
it's
when you're
pretty good.
looking for.
I definitely recommend though getting the Telos Bolt Ace from the who gives that? It's from one of the syndicates. It's pretty good. It has better stats overall, if nothing else. Its gimmick effect used to be that it would like pull enemies in, and it used to be really strong, and then they nerfed it into the ground. Was it the Arbiters of Hexus?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But those
Arbiters of
are
Hexus do the Telos Bolt Ace for I think it's 100, yeah, 125k standing, which takes a while, but you get there eventually, and it's worth it. They
yes,
also have the
and
Telos Boltor, which is pretty good, and the Telosec Bolto, which are also quite good. All the Syndicate weapons are pretty good. I don't think any of them are outright downgrades in any way.
hmm,
Um, you
but
compared to Prime weapons, sometimes they are, but it's more like a side grade thing. Like they might have slightly less base damage, but they'll have more status, that sort of thing. Um, so let's show off Baruch. I have
looking for.
a mod loadout right now, spec'd for range, because with range, and I'm gonna have to do some
Excuse me,
tweaks here.
just for a minute, but you can carry on.
You know, but I've spec'd for range because with range I have all kinds of all my abilities that are going to whittle down my restraint so I can use Serene Storm are going to be able to hit from practically anywhere. So there are huge advantages with that. So basically, my goal is to get my restraint down so I can use Serene Storm as early as humanly possible. Now, according to the wiki, um, restraint. Where are you? Restraint basically is completely static. As far as I can tell here, um, it does not. No mods affect it in terms of how much you gain or lose at any given time. So you can mod pretty much however you want, and the only things that are going to affect your restraint gain are things that are going to allow you to, uh, like general ability. So just, how often are you casting that power? How is that power working for you? So, like, going with range is not at all a bad idea, because with range, your lull is going to cover huge areas of the ground. Your elude, if you choose to use it, is going to cover you in full 360 degrees, and then Desolate Hands is going to shoot out these little things that are gonna um, go in all ridiculous ranges to hit enemies. Um, so it's quite handy. So you're going to whittle down your restraint. So Desolate Hands, which is your third ability, uh, reduces the gauge by 1.6%. Each enemy affected by lull is 0.81%, and each attack evaded by elude is zero point 0.6 of 1%. So Desolate Hands is a great source of whittling it down, especially if you have a lot of charges. I believe charges go up with power strength, which I'm not built for too well here. Incidentally, Digital Extremes, when are we going to be able to put augments in Exilis slots? I would like that. That would be very nice. Please. Please, DE. Please. For me.
Yes.
For me. I'm going to have to format, I think, my Exilis slot, because it is a hyphen polarity. What
Well,
Exilis mods do
you
I
can
have here?
go and do leveling up, and people will
Yeah,
see how leveling up works.
I would hope by now they've seen, but I will. Let's see. I'm just checking my. Okay, speed drift I can't. It's not a hyphen. Power drift I can't. Can I even fit that on at all? Yes, I can fit cunning drift on. That leaves me with 8 mod capacity. Let me get. What are you called? What are you called? Strength. Wow, I cannot spell today. Here we go. Augur Secrets. I have room for enough for that, so that bops my strength up to that, which gives me an additional couple charges to work with. Let me. Is this a max strength build? It is not. I do not have a max strength build. I'm gonna have to do that just to see how many charges you can get. Strength. Okay, no steel fiber. Keep adaptation. Keep. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Why are they just not? Okay, fine. Okay, get blind rage on there. Get unroll intensify on there. 267. Let's get rid of flow. I'm still short. Oh, I forgot the Exilis mod, right? Where are you? Power drift. Okay, which will bop my up to 337%. Technically, you can go higher than that if you get both Umbral mods on there, but the Umbral, what is it called? Not Prime Sure-Footed. No, I'm in the wrong category, no wonder. Um, I'm not hugely fond of Umbral Vitality and Umbral Fiber because they only improve frames that have high base armor and health, um, and they're
Mm-hmm.
extremely expensive. So maxing out Umbral Intensify, I think, is basically worth it. It can be. It's still like 5 points higher for a gain of only 15%. Um, or 14%. 14% over regular uh, intensify, but okay. So that leaves me at 337%, which gives you 26 charges. That's pretty good. But you have 0 duration, which isn't a big deal. Um, Actually, that's not probably a terrible build, to be honest. I'd like to have more range than that, and, uh, you know, not be starved for energy, which I will be constantly. Um, but that is going full strength with Baruch is an option. Duration doesn't really help you a ton, in my experience, other than making things sleep earlier, or sleep longer. It's a big deal there. Um, I like range a lot. Range is really good, so probably range and strength, and then prioritize which one you'd rather have. I prefer range, but that's a personal thing. Alright, so we are queued up for Hydron. I guess I can do this for Hydron then.
Okay.
So I also took the time to get the 2 new Railjack, gained from Railjack weapons, the melee weapon and the ranged weapon, which are the Quelor rifle, which has a massive clip and a alt fire that takes up 1,000,000 ammo. What is it, like,
Yeah.
how much is it? Also has a reload time that can be measured in geologic ages. Super long. So it uses 75 ammo per charge shot. Then the melee weapon, the Pennant, which uses the two-handed Nikana stance, which is nice, I guess. So I'm gonna go and assassinate that dude. Oh, somebody's pen pal is showing up.
Pen pal.
Yep, somebody made friends with somebody, and they are coming to show up. All right. Hence the flickering lights. So I've got now my restraint up or down enough that I can cast my Serene Storm. And basically what I want to do, my main energy overhead problem is going to be keeping my little floating daggers around me up.
Okay.
And those are going to reduce my restraint every time they hit something. Note that killing things will actually make it harder to do that, because they won't have any enemies to hit. So, what this is doing now is, I've got Toxin on there, so it is doing Toxin damage, but it's also doing, and you'll see probably Radiation procs once I find some enemies to hit again. Okay, I'm not seeing any. It's Toxin again. I was getting radiation numbers. It doesn't always show you the, because it has to do it on a status proc. It doesn't show you the damage type, but big numbers people are seeing already, I'm sure. These are like 5 digits for just a single punch. Yeah, that was 81,000 damage. That was 16,000. That was 16,000. 19,000. That must have been an 8,100, not an 81,000. That was, I saw a 50k in there. Yep, easy 16,000, 16,650 damage. That's impact.
That's not good.
That's not bad at all. Those are indeed crits. Those are orange crits, as opposed to red crits. as opposed to
Yeah,
yellow
I
crits.
mostly get a lot of red, orange crits with mine.
Yeah. All right. There we go. 18,000. I should be getting. I'm not seeing any radiation procs, which makes me highly suspicious. All right, I'm gonna turn off my 4 because I just ran out of restraint, and I'm gonna build it back up again, which is going up. I'm already a quarter down. I've got right now Berserker on like all my melee that I'm using. I've got also, what is it, Arcane Strike, I think it's called, which is an arcane that on, I think it's on crit, gives you a chance to have additional melee attack speed. Basically, it's Berserker, but you don't take up a mod slot to use it, and it doesn't get quite as fast. But it stacks with Berserker, so having both is great.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if you want to tell some Warframe players that don't know about it, but you know, on top of your screen, just next to your health and shield, there is like 3 dots. So that is your affinity
Oh
for
yeah,
XP.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
showing that everybody, if there's a number under it, i.e. 3, which it should be, that's telling you that there are 3 allies around you. And basically, that's indicating that you are within affinity range, which I think is by default like 50 in-game meters.
Mm,
Um, and you will get affinity for everything they do, and they will get affinity for everything you do. So you're never like, if somebody's quote stealing all the kills unquote, you're still getting all that experience.
yes.
It's just being distributed differently. Um, so for them, if they're doing it with say a Saren, they're getting it almost exclusively. Like it's a 75-25, I think, breakdown. They're getting it almost exclusively to their Warframe, uh, whereas you're getting it basically an even spread between everything you have equipped: Warframe, weapons, Sentinel, everything. So
Yes.
being in a game where someone is stealing all your kills is actually a good thing because
Yes.
you're going to be getting experience for everything. It's so Warframe is extremely benevolent in that regard. Um, it's extremely benevolent in a lot of regards. That is the least of them.
And one exception that I've noticed with Warframe is that the community on Warframe is one of the best I've ever met.
I think it's great.
Yeah,
I've
you.
like there are assholes in any community, but Warframe by and large, so long as you're saying that, hey, I don't understand X or Y or Z, why is that? And saying, if you're inquisitive and you want to know things, people in the Warframe community are going to tell you the answers to those questions because
Yes.
the game has like zero official in-game documentation, and everybody knows it, and nobody's happy about that state of affairs. So all the players are like, well, nobody has any way of actually knowing anything, so we'll tell you. But you have to show an interest. Like people aren't going to just tell you
Yeah.
things. You have to ask questions, which is tough because you have to know which questions to ask.
And
Uh,
what I've learned is Warframe is not a solo game.
yeah, you can play basically all of it solo with very few exceptions. You could theoretically solo Eidolons, but I wouldn't recommend it. It is in
Um,
no way fun. But then again, I don't think Eidolons are in any way fun myself, and that's coming from a Monster Hunter player, so
yes.
maybe that's why. But I like what they were trying to accomplish, but them replacing trials and raids with that was, I think, not the way to go. I do not forgive that easily. I'm not seeing any radiation procs. I was getting radiation procs yesterday, so I have to figure out what's going on with that. Oh, you know what it might be? Oh man, wouldn't that be rude? So it could
Hmm.
be that the waves do not get the damage boost, but only your regular melee impact with the ability does.
Okay.
So me taking range off may have actually caused me problems. But I'm gonna do some experimentation. I mean, I like having range equipped anyway. It doesn't affect the size of your wind blasts, but it still affects your basic melee attacks. So you have a similar situation, I know. Oh, that was a lot of damage. That was like 40 something. Um, there was with like building up Berserker on certain things, like I think Excalibur this applies to. You couldn't easily get Berserker to build up on him because his sword beams didn't count. Um, that may not be true now. I haven't fiddled with that in a long time to verify. Uh, but you had to actually be up in their grill and melee attacking them and hitting them with the sword itself as opposed to the sword beams in order for it to count. Um, so that may be what's going on with this Baruch mod, because I know I was getting radiation procs earlier, and I didn't have radiation equipped. I had, I think, electricity and nothing else. Electricity and impact were the only damage I could have done, and I was doing rad procs. So I will fiddle with that. Um, I have to get close enough to enemies to actually hit. Problem is, they die when I look at them funny. Okay, that was another toxin proc, which is fine. The main reason I'm doing toxin damage is because I have primed the primed toxin mod, and that does a lot of damage. It's like plus 165% of your base damage as toxin. Getting right up in this guy's face. No. I think I saw a radiation proc when I was right up on that guy. So I'm gonna put range back on there and see if I start seeing those again.
Reinforcements available. Do you
Uh,
choose to leave
yeah, I'll do
now or continue by
another
air?
one of these. I gotta do my sorties as well.
Another opportunity to
Yeah, we
extract will
can do
appear soon.
sorties as well.
Sorties are easy, unless they have a Lua rescue. Those suck.
Yeah,
Those, those like they're very doable, but there is a
that
staggering amount of luck involved in those.
yeah, that's just more or less luck. And then also, if it's Hades, I hate that one. Hades Assassin.
Oh, the Ambulus.
Yes,
Is that the one on
Ambulance, yes.
Hades? Yeah. Ambulus is tough.
And
I'd
then
still say
this,
he's easier than Vayhek. Vayhek's sorties are real pain. He's still
yes,
doable, provided you have a mag in the team, but it's a pain, for sure.
yeah, and then also destruction missions when it's the last part.
Oh, yeah, because all your enemies are like level 100 plus. I could see
Mm,
that being difficult, although I think some frames would have a harder time than others. Uh, Mostly it's about kitting yourself out for the absolute worst case scenario and being able to do huge amounts of damage. So using a catch moon kit gun is a good idea. Using um,
I have
uh,
a kit gun rivet mod, but I haven't opened it yet. I still need to open it, and
what's the Riven
I'll
challenge? I can help you with that unless it's a solo. There are a couple of those.
check. But I think it is quite an easy one, but I don't have a kit gun yet, so that's why. I wasn't bothered doing it yet. The prime melee one I also have. I mean a melee mod and then a shotgun mod. I
Oh,
saw
there we
the
go. I
rifle.
did do a radiation proc, so maybe not. Okay, continue. Sorry.
No,
Keep
I
talking.
was just saying that I have a few velvet river mods. Melee, kick gun, and shotgun.
Well, if there's any of them that I can help you with.
Hmm. But some of them are like ridiculously so odd. Like
So,
the one I had was I need to put the dragon key on of I think it was the cane and have to complete the mission without dying or and also not using any abilities or without any kills. And it was a survival.
does it require you to be solo?
No, at least it wasn't that I'd be solo, but but in my party no one must use abilities or kill.
So with those, actually, I may
Like I
after
did.
after we do this, I want you to link that one to me because most of the Riven mods, almost without exception, the for the unveiling challenges, there is almost always some way you can cheese it and do something that doesn't appear to be intended, um, to make your life a lot easier. I'll have a look at it and we'll see.
But
Because
I
that
did
one I think
complete
is going
it.
to actually be easier than it sounds.
Yeah, I did complete it. It wasn't so hard. The other one that I know I had, but it took me a while to complete, you had to do a solo defense with level 430 and higher
Ugh.
enemy.
Without
With
the target taking any damage.
no, yeah, without the target
Yeah.
getting damage and without using abilities or energy or
So with
you
that
can.
one, usually your allies can use abilities and that's okay. Um,
Yes.
but if it's solo, then you're... oof.
No, it was solo and
Yeah.
you couldn't use equipment to get energy, like the energy.
Well, if you can't use abilities, then I guess that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but I somehow completed it with limbo. So that was what I did. And I did it actually alone on a sorties because the target wasn't moving the fence top. So it
Oh,
was
if it's a...
much easier.
Oh, yeah. If you can you get
And
those to walk through your limbo portal?
no, you can use your one to put him in limbo as well.
I thought you couldn't use abilities though.
No, you couldn't put down, the energy to get energy.
Oh, that's easy.
So
If if
those,
if it's keeping you from using abilities, those are really hard. But
yeah.
the ones that
But
where it's like energy, that's like Zeneric energy dash. I'm not saying
yeah,
it's the most broken path and focus school, but it's definitely the most broken focus school for
I'm
sure.
actually busy with mine now because I sold my rifle, belted rifle, um, rivet mod for 45 platinum, and then I bought the greater lens of, to get that energy dash to start that focus.
Reinforcements available.
One more
Do you
round? No.
choose
If they're
point
bailing,
blank
I mean, I could solo this, but
I know.
I'd rather not.
Round rank
Let's
20 with Nova. And that was my second defense. That's how fast you rank up.
Yeah. You see, I never do these dedicated ranking up locations because I just do it passively. It doesn't take very long in my experience, unless you're doing like Mercury. which is insufferable. But don't do that. Just don't try to level things up on Mercury, and you'll basically be fine. I did
Yeah.
finish ranking up my Quelor though, so let me
Let me quickly put on those weapons. Oh, I didn't even have my right weapon on.
Oh, I do have primed shred on here already, and the fire rate is already that. Because it's kind of slow, the fire rate on this thing. I was expecting it to be faster for something that was clearly a heavy machine gun. I guess I could do a mod that boosts my ammo capacity. What would that bring it up to? Ammo. Where are you? No, not ammo drum. The other one. Magazine, then. There we go. Magazine warp. What does that get up to? Let's just replace this mod real quick. Goes up to 390. Nope. That's pretty inadequate. I think what I'll do... Oh, that's right, but I can stack it with wildfire if I so choose. Okay, Axomati Prime. I still need all of the new ones. 76 enemies with finishers without failing a mission. You don't have to do that in one mission. What I recommend is Ivara. Ivara, Sleep Arrow, and just kill everything. Real easy.
Or
Um,
invisibility works as well.
yeah. Shotgun synthesizes some Maris target without using traps or abilities. That one's obnoxious, but not actually a problem. Because you can do ground pounds to throw them off balance and scan them that way. You definitely want to have the Samaris scanner as upgraded as you can, because that makes everything easier. Another thing worth noting with those is so long as you activate an ability before you encounter that enemy, that Samaris target,
Okay.
it will be okay. But if you do it while you've encountered him, you're in trouble, and it won't count. So Octavia is an excellent choice for that. Ifara is an excellent choice for that, because you can cast your ability at the beginning of the mission um, after fueling yourself up, and then just zip on through to where he is. She, it, whatever. What is the other one here? Grand Prime. 8 unalerted Tusk Ballistas, which requires the planes with a headshot. I dread those. Other things to remember about Riven mods is it doesn't have to be with the weapon. It can be with any weapon. So a Vectis Prime, for instance, with as much zoom as you can get, crawl slowly into its spawn-in area, which is something like a couple hundred meters. Uh, what I like doing is I do it from the Tusk Ballistas will always be in the towers. Use an Arcwing. Use an Itzel probably. Cloak yourself and then nudge yourself into its area, and then boink from above. Boink. Have what is it? Hush equipped or whatever. The silencing mod. I've done that a couple times on stream actually. Those aren't too bad. They're just really tedious, and all it takes is one miss for you to just want to bang your head into a wall. At least that one doesn't require you to not miss one. That's not so bad. None of these appear to require you to do it all in one go. The kit gun one, so long as you never fail a mission, you can just keep racking up finishers, and you're basically golden.
Yes.
What I can do actually is I can what did make these more obnoxious, and this is sort of a tangent, is the changes they made to doing finishers, where now you have to do an interact instead of just using your melee, which is how it worked before, so you could get automatic finisher attacks. I'm still not happy with that, but what I can do is I can run around as Baruch and then just make everything go to sleep, and then you do finisher kills. It doesn't have a level requirement or anything. That's not too bad. So we'll find like either that one's pretty doable. All of these are pretty doable. Where is, here we go, the one on Arca Plasmor. Let's see. Synthesize a Riven Samaris target without using traps or abilities while having a Hobbled Dragon Key equipped. The Hobbled Dragon Key is a pain in the butt, but that all only applies to you. So if worst came to worst, I could
Yeah, I think
Oh,
you.
actually, what I can do is I can, if I go Avara with duration and a cloak arrow, I can cloak arrow you. Or I can
Okay.
go as Octavia and you just mash out the cloak that way, and that's fine.
Oh yeah.
So those are
So
doable. None of these appear to require solo, though the melee Riven mod, the kill 8 unalerted Tusk Ballistas, I don't know that that'll
mm,
count if I do it for you.
no, but you don't need. I think I've done it before.
Yeah,
You don't need to do it alone.
yeah. There's one that you have to keep an eye out for that requires you to get like headshot kills while in aim glide. So fun fact. Um,
I did that one on Earth and it was so easy.
oh well, I'm glad it was easy for you because everything I tried wouldn't work. Until, and this is a way to cheese it really badly, it turns out that due to Zephyr's rework, if you charge up her one, she will hop into the air and then just be floating there. And if you right
Yes.
click and zoom in, that counts as aim gliding, and you can be there for a very long time. So you just snipe a bunch of dudes in the head and call it a day while you're hovering there. It was I felt like I had done something extremely broken but very satisfying when I did that. Because I kept trying to do it with like an Arcaplasmor aimed just above their heads, and I would get like two of the four that I needed to get in a row, and then like the last one would get grazed in the torso or arm or something, and it wouldn't count,
Well,
which was really frustrating.
let,
But I
let's
don't
do
have any
it.
of those now.
Let's do that one rivet mod with the finisher, to show
Oh
people.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Let
Uh,
me. There's not
just
really anything I need
choose
to.
survival, perhaps.
I would just do like a why can't I use
Extermination.
words? Yeah, do an exterminate on someplace relatively high level, and preferably with flat areas. So maybe void. I like
Hmm.
doing them in the void.
Okay.
So like void, and then whatever the highest level exterminate there is, because that way you should be getting those. What I kind of recommend for that is like a dagger to. Oh wait, that mod doesn't instant kill everything now, does it? Or does it
No.
still? Where's the dagger
Usually,
mod?
I do it on Earth for the still the low ranking. But then I just take off my companion, and yeah, and I do it
There
with that. That's how I used to do it, with finishes and aim gliding, or sliding as well. There was one that you need to do kills with while sliding, kill with a gun, headshots. And that one was not easy.
we go. Okay. So I guess pick a
Venus
I
or
again because you need to because they have to be the actual finisher kills. I mean, do whatever, do whatever. I would prefer, I guess, a exterminate is easiest, and preferably something with lots of open sight lines. So that's why I recommend the void because there's lots of open tiles that are flat,
mm,
so that I don't have to worry about line of sight issues with my. But they'll basically all be focused on me anyway, and you just have to walk around ganking them, just murdering them one by
yes.
one.
Let me see which one on avoid is it now.
Probably not Marduk.
This
Yeah,
one.
that one, Oxamako. Oxamako! I don't know how that's pronounced.
I'll just use now for Nova for ranking up as well,
Sure.
because I need just 6,000 points for Mastery rank 20. Oh, there's only two Mastery ranks that I hated the most. I think it was Mastery rank 8 or can't remember which one, 6 or 8.
I had a friend, I think, who did 8 recently, and it was or was it 16? There's one where you have to like get a bunch of stealth melee kills and hit these
Yes.
buttons. That
There's
was
two of them.
and it was after long after I had already done it. And I hadn't when I had done that mastery test. Here we go. I'm just gonna. It takes them a second to get sleepy timed, but once they do, you should be able to hit X to interact.
Okay, got one.
So there's a lot of them. Just keep.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized I don't have high duration, so this is going to be a bit of a pain. But
No, it's fine. I'm getting them.
As long as the enemy is here, this tower is useless to us.
Yes.
I'm going to plop down an energy thing. Energy pizza real quick.
And yeah, you need
Oh,
to
I
be
didn't
behind
do
it, but
private. Oh, no.
ugh, don't worry.
How many have you gotten so far? It's not like we're going to fail the mission. I don't think it's even possible to fail exterminates. Unless
No.
you die a lot.
Ooh, there goes my power. Load shedding in our country. It's called. Come on, finisher. Come on. Just hate it. Sometimes the finisher doesn't want to go.
Yeah, they're finicky, and they're kind of this lull ability. It kind of takes a couple seconds for it to really kick in, and plus this guy is
Yeah.
waking them all up, which is making it really hard.
Let's just say there.
We can let him run ahead and hope that the enemies spawn back on us. Oof. Large numbers.
There you go.
We should have done private. I wasn't thinking. See? Warframe community. My bad, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't get mad. Come on. Okay. Come on, finisher.
Yep. One sec, I'll get you. I'll get you.
Okay.
No worries.
Oh, forgot. Sometimes I forgot to not do it like that.
That should put them all to sleep. Do Inaros's 2, where he grabs and puts them in the sand count as, Oh, he's
I'm not
horribly
sure.
angled. Just kill him. Sorry.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I don't know. I like
His-
using him for certain types of missions. Okay, come on. There we go. But even my companion helps me to do finishes. Ugh, really?
I'm coming. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But my companion helps me, takes down their health. And then when our health is at, I think, 10% or 30%, I can do a finisher. Really? This one?
I think I accidentally woke some of them up, because once they take damage, they wake up.
Mhm.
And I did it when I did my, my operator dash. Because I've got,
problem.
oh, I can't remember the name of it.
Oh,
Oh, it's
yes.
Magus
This is-
something. It makes these little yanking pull chain things. Oh, why am I getting in there? What am I doing? That should make them all go sleepy sleep. He's an Inaros, so he's also blinding them, which is serving the same purpose, which is nice.
Yes.
I could have also gone with Equinox, but that's more of a passive energy drain and can be.
Yes. I'm on 11. Well, if I can bloody activate it.
2020
So,
hindsight, I should have made sure I had duration and not pure range. I'm gonna go for
okay, that one at least was easy to get. Come on, really? The back's against the wall, hey, it's difficult to
yeah,
get to.
yeah.
Got this one that wasn't that easy, but okay.
You have broken their ranks and they are on the run. Another successful mission. Find extraction.
Just the other thing is the dog sometimes kills them.
Yeah, definitely unequip any attack mods for your pets for these because
Yes.
because he's gonna interrupt it, and it's really annoying. I've had to do that. I'm gonna go after this nullifier over here real quick.
Come on. Really? Okay, there he goes. 18. Come on. I think it would be much easier with Ivara. Because I just stay invisible and then just go behind them faster.
How many did you get from that one?
I think 20?
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yes. Well, I think I'll take Ivara. Oh, I forgot to ask you, how do I do Unity Dash again?
Um, so what you need? Do you have an operator? I'm assuming you do
Yes, I
because you've
have
talked about focus trees.
yeah, I
Um,
already got him and I already activated Unity Dash, but I'm not sure how to activate it.
you
Is it
just
just
go into operator mode and then do a regular dash, and then walk into the bubble that is created after you've done the dash.
okay?
Provided, and you do have to make sure of this, and this threw me off at first. If you go to your focus tree, then go to Zeneric, or if you're looking at all your focus trees, make sure that you have Zeneric
But
set as your
I
active. And
yes,
then
it is active.
when you're in Zeneric, make sure that the energizing dash icon is highlit,
Yes,
i.e.,
yes,
red and glowing. Um,
yes.
you definitely want to max that out as soon as you can. Energy Pulse is also very good because it basically makes any energy orbs you pick up just better. It, half again is good, and that stacks with practically everything. That stacks
Mm.
with what is it? That Arcane Energize. It stacks with any other things that modify your. I think it stacks even with what is it? Equilibrium, but I haven't tested that. The one that converts health orbs to energy
Mhm.
orbs and energy orbs to health orbs if you're low on one and not the other. But I don't remember, so don't hold me on that.
Okay.
Alrighty. And did you set it as private?
Oh, I think you're
Oh,
the leader, so let me cancel.
let me. Ah, yeah, here we go. I'm gonna set it to friends only,
Operator, did you hear that? It said
and let me.
cosmic background
Got
radiation
Desert
is a
Wind
riot.
maxed out. Let me just double check my mod
All right,
loadout
let me
here.
check the. Oh, that was nice of you. If you all die, I will revive you. Don't waste. It gets
Oh yeah,
extended. Oh.
never, never self-revive if you don't have to. Uh, there's no reason to do it. Um, Plus, if somebody revives you, you don't have to worry about any affinity loss. The affinity loss is basically non-existent, but
Yeah, your first revive is fine, but from your second one, it just gets more and more.
yeah. I'm trying to think of how I'm gonna, because I'm not gonna be able to do much. How I can best help you. Um,
I'm going as Ivara,
if
so
you're
I'm just gonna
Ivara,
let
I
him live.
will. I'll go as Trinity so I can top you up.
Okay.
Once you turn off your cloak, because when your cloak is going, you won't get any energy. Um,
My cloak lasts quite long, but it's just that
you
I'm
can
slow.
right, but you can toggle it. So just toggle it
Yeah,
off whenever. One sec, one sec.
no problem. Yeah, in our country now, it's called load shedding. So my power is off, and that's a well. I've made some preparations before it. So my internet has a little battery pack, and I play on a laptop, so I know I can play at least till the power comes back on.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Geez. Oh, this is. I see how it is. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about that then. Alrighty. Let me just double check. Yes, I do have new Loka there. I am going to have to switch up my syndicates in the near future, but I'm not gonna worry about that for now.
What syndicates do you have?
Right now, I'm going with new Loka, and I've been able to maintain an uneasy peace with Arbiters of Hexus and what's their name? Red Veil,
Okay,
as
I
well as
have
the
Red
passive
Veil.
gain, as well as the
Uh,
passive gain that you get with Corpus dudes. What's their name? Not Cephalon Suda, the other ones. Perrin sequence. Um, so I'm in the good graces technically of 4 different factions, but only 2 of them am I ever gaining anything in.
Eliminate the threat.
how did that
Alrighty.
work? Oh, didn't work. I did it not too slow.
Did you
Okay,
get
that
any
works
energy from
quite
that,
good.
or is it
Yeah, I did.
good?
Got like 400 energy.
Good.
Okay. Really?
The tower's neural
It's
sentry
not
is
even
turning
saying.
soldiers
Okay,
into
let me put
mindless
them
attack
into
drones.
sleep,
You
and
need
Yeah,
then I
you
can
have
go
to
into
you have
them.
to sleep arrow them. That's what you have to do.
Yeah, my sleep arrow lasts not too long, but it does last. What?
Don't
Oh.
self revive.
No, I didn't.
Well,
Somehow
something
I.
revived you, and it wasn't me.
Yeah. Don't know how, but okay. That was weird. Yeah, this works a bit faster.
Uh, Somebody's got a pen pal.
It's me.
What enemy?
Higgs, the black one.
Oh,
Forgot its
Stalker?
name. Not Stalker.
Not Stalker? I saw a puff of smoke. It must be Stalker, though.
No, it's that Higson. When we do operations for. That's in the gun. Where you go and trade in your
So, which one, though?
the Hex one. Oh, correct. Yeah, this is much faster. Yes, this is absolutely much faster. Oh yeah, I forgot. I have that ability on that lasers doesn't affect me. I actually love Ivara.
She's very good.
Yeah.
Anytime you need energy, just pop out of cloak and I'll do a energy vampire.
I have about 700 energy still.
Yep, that sounds about right. Primed
No,
flow
mine,
is just wonderful.
yeah. And prime continuity on as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Where's these other ones? Oh, down here. But just that, what I like about Ivara, you have so many different abilities in one frame.
Yep. Vauban is like that now too. Um, Vauban's okay.
Yes.
He's always been okay. He's always been good at what he does, but they've just made him better at doing other things too. Like he can actually kill stuff now, which he couldn't really before, not easily.
Yes.
But
The first time I played with him was like still with before the rework.
yeah.
Um,
But if you like back in the good old days when Zinni, Xini, on Sedna was the go-to place to level stuff up because it was infested defense. He just ruled the roost because everything would get stuck in his Bastille, and they couldn't do anything. He was very, very, very strong. But since then, we've gotten about 1 billion different ways to do absolutely absurd amounts of damage. So he
and
is
what I
not
like about
always
the
relevant.
one passive of Ivara is you don't need to put on enemy sense, and that's a quite a cool thing. Because I like enemy sense to know where the enemies are on the map, and if you put enemy sense on Ivara, it just increases that range.
Yep, yep. Although I never put that on my Warframes anymore. I just put it on my Sentinels and whatnot.
Yes, I have
And it all
now the
stacks though.
primed one.
If you have a dedicated looter like with Korra, um, you can put it on 2 Kavats yourself, and you basically can see every loot drop on most of the map. It's pretty hilarious,
Yes,
if not very practical.
yes. The only ability I don't use on Ivara is a 2. The 2 is where you can let the arrow go to a certain place. You control the arrow.
Yep. Really strong with certain weapons, but
Yes.
uh, not all of them. And there's an augment that makes it so that its headshot damage just ramps way up. Um, but you have to reliably get headshots, which can be very difficult with very fast projectiles.
Well, I've done a test with Ivara on an arbitration alone, survival. Um, no, sorry, it wasn't on arbitration. It was just a normal survival. But I think it was on the void, the highest survival one. And I went with Ivara and used Redeemer and just went invisible, used my zip lines, and it went up to enemies with level 250.
Yep.
And that
That
and
damage
killed.
bonus you get from hitting an unalerted enemy is just absolutely catastrophic. It's so much
And
damage.
you get a critical increase on your zip lines.
Yep, there is that augment that does that. It is true, and it is quite strong. One of the
And
traditional
also,
things that people like doing is what is it? Ignis Prime on a zip line, and you just kind of obliterate everything. Any high crit weapon will work.
yes.
Um,
But also, if
Redeemer
you're on a
Prime's
zip
excellent.
line, doesn't go down. With me, it doesn't. It just stays at one number.
How do you mean? What do you mean? You zip lines, I think, are permanent until you replace them, as far as I know.
Yes, no, but what I mean is, if I'm on my zip line, my energy is drains very slow, like really slow, like
Oh, really? I did not realize
yeah,
that. I will have to do fiddling with this.
yeah. I just noticed it when I'm like invisible. Okay, did I complete it now? No, 53. Um, but yeah, if I do that, I can see my energy drains a lot less, even if I'm using my bow and all my other abilities. So yes, it really decreases it, and then you have that crit damage from it. But what's that other mission? I forgot the type of mission it is. It's where you have to keep the captured areas.
Oh, interception?
Yeah, interception. Ibarra is great for interception
Yep.
if you're soloing.
Oh, yeah.
You just stay invisible. You just use your locking one, and eventually, after a few times you've done it, the enemies just keep standing still. They don't even move to areas. Then you just go and capture the areas, and
Broken. Well done. Now get
it's
to
like
extraction.
really a hack.
Yeah.
So
Octavia is another
far,
good one. Octavia is so
yes,
good for interceptions because she can cover multiple points simultaneously without even trying,
yes,
really. Just plop her one down. And her augment allows her to do that with multiple augments, or multiple balls. She's got an augment that lets her put down two. But their
yes.
range is cut in half. Um, so you have to go kind of high range to make it work. And then you have to keep up on keeping them up, as it were.
And one thing I like about Warframe is actually my one friend, he did try to use Axe on Warframe and he got caught. And all he did is to send them an apology letter and said he won't do it again. Can he have his account back? And Warframe was really actually nice. And they said if they catch him again, he won't be able to get his account back again. But I mean, at least they do that. They give a guy a chance.
Well,
Even if you
let's not give hackers a
didn't.
chance, though.
But you don't
Hacking
need to
is not
hack on
okay.
Warframe.
Right. Let's not talk about hacking on the stream, because that's a no-go. It's a no-go.
Yeah.
That is how you get your account banned. So don't do it.
Yep.
That they gave him a chance is fine and dandy, but no, can't
Yeah.
talk about that. Not in the not allowable by the TOU and EULA. So we won't do that.
Yes.
Hacking's bad, kids. Okay. How many more do you need?
Five.
5? Okay, let's
Really?
go back and kill some dudes. They'll
Let's
keep
see if we can find.
they'll keep spawning. You just have to hunt them down.
Yeah, if I'll
Here
see
we
it
go.
on
There's
the
a
map.
bunch over here.
Okay. I'm on my way.
In fact, I think there's 5 somewhere in this area. There's those 3, and then there's like another 3
Oh,
down below.
really? I didn't want to. Damn it. I had my sword equipped.
There's more over here. Kill him.
There
Just
we go.
just hit the interact button instead. There's some more around, so
Yes. But I couldn't use my sleep because I equipped my bow, and your middle button is your um up there. Okay, there we go. He jumped down, so that was cool.
how many more do you need?
Let's see if we can lock them.
There's
So
some over here.
okay, I'm on my way. Um, I'm
Just
just
shoot it at
doing
his
that
feet.
locking.
Just shoot it at his feet. Oh, you're doing the you're using the wrong arrow.
No, no, I'm trying to lock more enemies
You need a
with
huge
the
radius
sound.
for that to work.
Yeah, my radius isn't that small. If
You
you,
need like full 280 strength for that to really start attracting lots of
oh
enemies.
yeah, see, that's about my radius. But what I like about Ibarra is you can make your teammates invisible as well, and that helps also quite a lot.
Yep. You can also, or you could, I don't know if you can anymore, but you could use the guided arrow to go and sticky one of the cloak arrows to your sentinel, and you could basically have a cloak hovering over you at all times that way. But I don't think you can
Yes.
do that anymore because it makes both you and your sentinel impermeable, or
I'm
highly
running.
permeable. Things go right through you, I should say. The opposite of what I said. I'm gonna keep poking around and see if I can find more.
Yeah, I'm just getting quickly energy. Sorry. Let's just throw down. One, two. Hmm. How did my glyph change? I didn't change my glyph. Okay. For some reason, I only notice it now. My glyph change.
Don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Yeah, I just needed 3 more enemies. I'm not finding. Hmm. Let's see if we can get some organ crystals around here as well while we're looking for enemies. I don't know if the new no, they haven't updated that yet, but I heard that they are gonna update it. So if you're in a party and someone picks up like an organ crystal and you're not near them, then you'll still get that organ crystal if you didn't wasn't AFK and was from the beginning in the mission.
Yep,
Correct.
yep, they have talked about that. When that'll happen is anybody's guess. People have been asking for that for literally years. Almost as long as the game has been in existence. In fact, people have been asking for that. Uh, so
Okay,
we'll
that
see.
doesn't
We'll
work.
see what happens with that. I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Yeah, I don't think there's more enemies.
One of the other disadvantages, or one of the other things that has to be taken account with doing that, is it then renders stuff like vacuum more or less completely irrelevant. You still, I guess, could use vacuum, but it really wouldn't be nearly as useful. Um, I have I went years without using vacuum back when vacuum wasn't actually a mod, back when it was only attached to carrier. So I can play without it. It sucks, but or rather, it doesn't suck, and that's kind of the problem. Ha ha ha.
You found.
No, I didn't find any enemies. No, I don't know where they are. I
Okay.
think they're all dead.
Yeah, I think we got them all. well, if you want to show how the zip lines are, this is 1, 2,
Yeah, I've done the zip
3,
line thing before. Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7.
You're
Yeah,
only
I
having
think
4
it's
up at any time.
yeah, I think it's only 4 at the time. Yeah, 4. But yeah, that stays the whole match till I change or make new ones.
Yep.
That wasn't too bad of a run.
Excuse me. Jeez Louise.
But what's your favorite companion?
I use Helios Prime most of the time because I'm too lazy to scan things on my own when new
Yeah,
enemies
me
are
too.
around. Failing that, usually I'll have which is the Kavat in question. Speaking of which, I have not applied DNA stabilizers to my current Kavat in weeks, so let me heal them up.
I think we can do the last 3 on Earth. It will be quite easy. I'm just gonna
Excellent
take off
comments,
my
Operator.
companion.
Please return covered in blood.
All right,
So,
I'm gonna switch to Baruch again.
just want to take
Oh, actually, I know what I'll do. I'll go
I
with
wonder if
Wisp because I can provide you
that
with a huge
self.
attack speed buff.
Let me just check. I don't think it's because one of these would that self revived. I don't know how I got self revived,
Nope, none of
which is
those
weird.
mods will self-revive.
Yeah, because you saw most. I went down, but for some reason,
Let me check real quick my let me check Trinity real quick and see if for some reason uh Blessing
might
does
be
it.
on your
No,
team.
no, Blessing does not, or it doesn't say it anyway.
Because
Let
I know
me
thing, the only mod was from my cat, but I didn't use that cat of mine. Because it just sacrifices half of it itself to revive me.
There is a mod that does that, yes. There is also the
Yeah.
Kavat that does that, but the nothing you had equipped there
Uh,
that you linked would have done it.
yeah, I really don't know because not on my Ivara would have that mod or any of my guns. That's the weirdest thing. So, yeah. Well, I just need to max out my energy dash and that. But I've noticed the best place to farm for focus point
There is a large nest
is
of Grineer Marine
what's the
stationed
place
here.
called?
Leave no one standing.
Probably Elite Sanctuary Onslaught.
Yeah, yeah, or onslaught. Yeah,
The Sanctuary missions do give you a lot.
yes. And I put the one on my Graham sword that breaker links because I use the Graham Prime a lot. So I rather put it on me. And yeah, there we go. Oh.
Sorry.
No, it's a habit. Come
Oh, shoot. Okay, if you can find a pit to drop into, I keep giving you the electrical thing, and that's probably gonna hurt, because
on.
it'll wake them up. Either that or wait like for. Oh, over here, over here. You can jump into this pit, and I'll just get the 2 that are useful up. Because the electrical thing is gonna mess up your day.
It's fine, I got them, If I kill them fast enough. Okay,
Oh wow, that
one,
does not break sleep. I'm impressed.
yeah. Well, at least you know now.
Yerp. See, when I'm doing it, and ooh, Amber Star,
There we go.
yoink. Is
I
that
only
all of
pick
them
it
that
up
you
when
need?
I see them. Yeah, we can just kill them now.
Okay, doke. Easy.
Yeah, now it's
I've got to
easy.
do murmur farming as well, because I've got a lich I want to get out of the way, so I can maybe get the new bow, which is totally not the lens with cluster bombs. I want
Yes.
it. I want
I'm
it.
gonna use. I wanted to use that arrow now and see if I can eat you. Damn it, that's the wrong one.
Oh, that's much better for fire rate. Thank you, Wisp. Thank you so much. And that boosts the charge shot as well, which is good.
I missed you.
Here,
Where
I'll
are
sit
you?
still.
Where are
I'll
you?
sit still.
There we go. No, what?
Nope. I am not cloaked. Those are
Whoa,
zip
what?
lines. Those are not
Yeah,
cloak
but
arrows.
my zipline wasn't. Oh, yeah, I forgot. No, that's weird. Did that work? Yes. There we go. I was just wondering why my bow is shooting zip lines when I have it
I am
on.
not cloaked on my end.
Oh, let me check again. What? It shows you have the cloak on you. Because when I go in nearby you, I'm cloaked. Okay.
Yeah, the muffling is occurring, but visually I do not appear. Oh wow, what is the duration on that? It's not very long. Then again, I think you can only that caps out at like 40 seconds duration, the cloak arrows, with max duration. So you do
Yeah.
have to do upkeep. They're a pain. They're a pain.
Yeah, I think, yeah, mine's 14 seconds, 13 seconds.
All right, so let's bang out the sorties because we've got today's
Yes,
sortie
yes.
to do.
Oh,
Let me actually, I'll probably
let's
form my
see
weapons here.
what a little bit more I got. Um, I remember I sold the most I gotten with one rivet mod on the market, trade market, was 1000 platinum. But there was a rivet mod that's like usually 6000 platinum, so I lost a bit up. But let's
I
see.
don't do much trading. I did do some trading earlier, like in the week, but
Two,
mostly I don't.
two finger.
Let's see. There's a spy, exterminate, and then it looks like a raptor. Yeah, raptor, which is easy. Assassination. Um,
Okay, I'll use
so I'm
Ivara.
probably gonna go then with mag, so I don't have to change again. Let me just double check real quick.
Two
Any
finger.
weapon energy reduction is gonna suck mightily, but whatever. I'll grin and bear it. Failing
There's
that,
the mod.
actually, I'll go Octavia. I'll go Octavia. Octavia will make all of this pretty easy.
Yeah, I linked the rivet mod there. So let's see. Two finger. I haven't gotten this weapon before. Reach out and blast someone. Lots of someone.
So
One shot.
basically what it does is it shoots out a projectile that'll explode when it hits an enemy. It's not a very big explosion, despite what it would like you to believe. With a couple, its Tombfinger is really good. It's a really solid weapon, especially post Catch Moon nerf. Um, it's quite strong. you generally want to spec pretty much the same way you spec the Catch Moon, which is as much damage and crit as you can get, and and probably go with like reload speed. You can go with magazine capacity instead as well, but damage and crit are the ones to focus on, and those two, Tombfinger can do quite a lot of damage. Um,
Yes.
in fact, I'm probably gonna equip that real quick because I've got my Tombfinger available for
I
use.
don't have Tomb Finger yet.
Call him my
Where did I
Delameter
get
because I love me my.
that?
Alrighty, so let's do the sorties. Do you have a level 30 Warframe equipped?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I see now. That's why my glyph changed. My glyph was always a P, and that glyph that was a P is gone, and it changed to this one. Tactical Potato.
No idea. No
Yeah,
idea who that is.
yeah, I got it from a stream, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, I don't have one of those, and there's a number of reasons for that.
Yeah, Warframe partnership, I think you need to have, and
You
I
need
don't
like
know what
2,000
else.
followers. You need to stream like every day. You need
Mm,
a whole number of other things. And you need to ask them to become a Warframe partner. Don't worry though. People keep telling me that, oh, why do you stream Warframe? Everyone's abandoning that game. It's a dead game. And I'm just like,
yeah.
A, it's not a dead game. B,
Tenno,
I
I
don't
need you
care
to
what other
get
streamers are
inside the
doing.
two data vaults and retrieve crucial
I'll
intelligence
take
data.
C.
I'll
This
take B.
technology won't be enough to stop us.
Sounds good.
Mm. Yeah, in the beginning I wasn't that great with hacking.
Oh, it's just practice. It's all practice. They're really
Mm.
simple puzzles once you know what you're doing. But when you're first doing them, oh my God, no. They're
Ooh,
they're
okay.
almost hard.
Toaster is down.
Whatever, I'm gonna keep going,
Tenno,
provided he
Fraggoth
doesn't
says
like
we increased
set an
security
alarm
levels.
off.
The enemy would rout us. Their data
Yeah.
won't let it get into our hands.
And by alarm, I mean one of the spy thing alarms, so I don't care otherwise.
But for me, for like beginners with hacking and that, I would recommend they use
The target
Wukong
console is nearby.
with
If
his
you trigger the alarms now,
second
the enemy
spell.
will start destroying data.
Oh, that's
The
right.
guard
The
robot is
cloud,
inbound.
Yes, Cloud
yeah,
Walk.
goes right through lasers.
You've
Wow,
triggered the
I just
alarms.
wow,
Lich
I
data
jumped and then I
information
accidentally
failure.
double jumped like an idiot. Whatever, it's no problem.
Got it. The data is still intact.
Easy. I'll go look for the exit.
Yeah, Ivara is it easy with hacking as
Oh
well.
yeah, especially with the thing that lets you go through lasers.
Yeah, I have that equipped, so
Yep.
it makes it relatively easy. And with the new mods you get as well for hacking, it makes it really easy for some people.
Oh yeah, I have the auto hacking mod equipped for my Parazon.
I must check with that one. I don't think I have that one.
It's a rare one. I don't remember what drops it. Um, I wound up splurging for the Parazon mod pack.
Yeah. Oh, really? Because I wasn't. Only time I don't get flipping killed is on my way there. But once I've done it and leave the entrance, then I get killed. Like this game says, nope, you have to die before exiting.
Best recommendations I can give are the usual, either uh, just kind of keep moving, um, stay airborne as often as
Mm,
possible because that applies a negative modifier to enemy accuracy, and the ever venerable get good, um, but I die all the time, so that doesn't apply.
yes.
I die with regularity because I tend to play as extremely squishy frames. Um,
Yes.
let me
Come on.
just doing something in the
So,
background here.
there we go. Oh, I see there was also part of a night wave. But my night wave is already quite high.
Yeah, once you get past 30, it's all about just getting enough to pick up whatever new cosmetics or resources you need. Basically, get as much nitane as you can get. If once you get like 200 nitane, you'll never need it again. So,
Yes, that's what I did the most with
yeah.
my credits despite that because I saw a lot of frames, a lot of weapons take that.
Yeah. So this next one's what? An exterminate? Yep. Exterminate with augmented enemy shields. For the next one, I will grab mag. Because with mag,
I'll come back with
I'm going
you
to
as well.
we only need one. So if you want to pack something that can, like, I don't know, shoot, say, I don't know, Artemis arrows into a giant bubble, hint, hint,
Mm, what about Sharon?
you can do Saren, I guess. It doesn't do a mountain of damage to the. This is an exterminate, so just pick whatever for the exterminate. These are brain dead. I'm thinking ahead for the boss. I mean, you can bring Saren, but it doesn't do a ton of damage to. I don't even know if you can cast spores on the boss. To tell you the truth, it won't do enough to kill it. Um, it's
Yeah.
just bring a gun with punch through and shoot it a lot. Or use your Artemis bow. Your Artemis bow will do a ton of damage if you have any damage
Okay.
strength at all.
Let me just quickly check here. Mm, I can use this one.
I just realized I don't actually have mag equipped because I'm a dummy.
I have this one.
And let me just
What?
double check
No.
my
Hold
mod
on.
setup here. This is my all-rounder. There's my duration.
Mm, sorry, I
Operator,
was
did you hear that?
selecting the
It
wrong
said,
one.
cosmic background radiation is a riot.
Continue. Just give me a second. I'm gonna see where did I put that one.
I'll go with duration. Why not? I haven't done a duration build with mag in forever. How long does that bubble last with your high duration? 45.9 seconds. That should be more than adequate. Even assuming bosses that reduce that duration considerably, so that should be fine.
Yes.
And the duration also gets reduced per recast. So, like, if you cast it on them, it'll last a while, but then subsequent casts will last like half that time. So,
Yes.
but we should be able to kill. Let's see that mod config. Yes, yes. Yeah, sure. Okay. Do you have regular damage increase, not heavy caliber? Serration. Do you have Serration?
Duration, yes.
Yeah, I would do
I'll switch
Serration
it.
in instead of heavy
Okay.
caliber to increase your accuracy.
Okay.
And for these guys, I don't remember what damage type they are most vulnerable to. So let me double check that.
Explosion. Yeah, I think Thunderbolt is just that explosion.
Yeah, it does a flat 150 damage. I kind of recommend against it because it does not do very much damage, and it will eat the arrow instead of having it go through multiple times. So I would go with, actually, if you have Shred, Shred would be good too, because that boosts your fire rate, so you can plink them out a lot quicker.
Okay, yeah, I got Shred. Yeah.
I think that would probably do it.
It's like this. There we go.
I don't know what damage they're weakest to, but I think it's corrosive you probably want to go with, or yeah. Yeah, that looks good to me.
I can change Stormbreak into Infected Clip
Nope,
or
that looks good.
Hellfire.
As far as I'm concerned, that looks good. Um, a warning, this doesn't apply to you. A warning, there is a mod called... I just clicked on my cat, not my inventory. Gosh darn it. Um, there's a mod that provides crit chance or crit damage and
If I may say, operator, your
status
chosen Warframe
chance. It
suits you.
is Hammer Shot. It is kind of a noob trap because plus 60 critical damage is not all that significant. You can generally put that mod. You can generally put something else in its place that will benefit you more, in my experience.
Mm.
It's okay if you have a weapon that already has like a native 3 or 5 like if it's higher than 2.5 crit damage modifier, it might be worth it, but always go Vital Sense instead. If it's a choice between the two, Vital Sense every time because it's just more. I'm really quick gonna put a Forma on my Quellor here because I think it has earned it. I can't see what my modifications. Here we go. Is a D polarity up there that will save me 8, 8 plus 5. Whoops, come on, there we go. Okay.
And that's what I also have on my companion.
Yeah,
Good.
that's fine. I
False.
always strap as many, yeah, that's basically comparable. Let me,
Yeah.
where's mine? My, mod config
Yeah, I have 8
Helios
plus
Prime.
8 seconds on hacking. Unlock 5 lockers within 20 meters after hacking. And 50% retry on hacking failure. That's what I have on my full hacking. That's what I have on. I haven't done quite more mods than that. Okay, yours. Okay. Yeah, I just don't have that Helios one mod.
Which,
But I have on your Helios there's a augment mod called Helios. Detect vulnerability. I don't have that one. I still need it.
I am...
Well, if you
Oh, yeah.
if
That one you get from,
what
Samaris, yeah. It's it's
yeah
it's
what I'm
basically it operates just like Banshee's sonar, except it does one enemy at a time. So it just gives you an extra little spot on certain enemies that you can shoot at, which is pretty convenient. That does more damage.
well if you need I wanted to tell you if you need a mod from Steel Mirandon, augment mod, might I can get them for you, and then if I need from New Locky, I can trade. We can trade what you need and what I need.
Sure. Let me.
Okay, I got the ones I already bought. Is the serum ones? I have all the serum ones. Rhino,
I've the
uh,
only one I actually need is I
Nova,
think the Garuda one
Garuda
because I've got all the others. I can't remember the name of it. Um,
if I can see, if I see. Oh yeah,
uh,
I see Garuda one. Dread, Ward, right?
uh,
That one.
shoot, I don't know. Something involving reloading ammo.
Uh, One that's showing you by Steel Manager in the school. This one, I'll put it in chat. This one.
No, I should have that. Yeah, that one I have. What is it called?
It's Atlas, Ember.
No, I've got literally every augment mod except for the one new Garuda mod that just came out. I don't remember what it's called.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be wherever the other Garuda mod is in that list, and I'm looking for it because
Yeah,
it's
let
going
me
to take
just
me a
check here
million years
by
to find it.
Red Velvet. If it's not the other Red Velvet. I think it's this one. I think I can get it. It's called
Yeah.
Blood. Blood. Forge. There we go. that one.
Yeah, that is the
Okay.
only augment mod I don't have. I was able to get the others. Um,
Okay. Well, I can get him for you. I just need. I got 8,000 reputation now, so it's not far from 25,000, and that's easy
We
with
offer
syndicate
these to aid you to
missions
know.
and with emblem you have on to get extra.
yeah. Tomorrow I should be able to get you uh, any of the one. I can get you one of the secondary weapons from New Loka.
These
If you
offer
need the
Okay.
Sancti
secure.
Castanas, I can get
Let
you
me
that,
let
and
me
I can
just
get you
quick
any number of whatever the other augments are, because those are all like 25k,
get
and I've got
New Loka.
86,000 right now.
Yeah, I need to check. One I would like to get is Trinity. Yes, that's the one. Viper Leech for my
Uh,
Trinity.
Let me see. I think that's
It's on New Loki.
Use these to
That's the
cleanse the
one I
unclean.
need, and then sometime later I will get Wukong's one.
We offer these to aid you to know.
Mm, yeah, Trinity and Equinox. I have all of them.
which Wukong one did you want?
It was. I think.
Enveloping Cloud or Primal Rage? Well,
I
maybe
think it's.
Celestial Stomp, but that one's kind of weak. Probably the Wukong one, the Primal Rage, which boosts critical
Yes.
chance.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, that one's
And
pretty
then
strong.
Trinity's one, not the life one, the vampire
Yeah,
one.
Energy Vampire. Yep, I can get those for you, no problem. I've got the.
Yes. Trinity, Titania, I have them. I'm not worried. And oh, I see Octavia. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, it's about it. What I need from Octavia. But like I said, I have all of Equinoxes and all of Mags.
Mhm.
Mags, yeah, because Mag you only get from New Loki and Equinox. So yeah, at least I've gotten those ones. So yeah, I'll get some reputation points and buy that mod for you
Sure,
because
I'll get you those
yeah.
too. Let's bang out these sorties before I have to end my stream, and we can continue after that.
Yes, yes, yes.
There's just the two more missions. Should be pretty easy.
Yes, I'm just gonna continue with Vivara, seeing
Yep.
that I already have equipped, and also with a bow now. Okay. I'm ready whenever you are. And yeah.
Yep.
Did I put my. Yeah, I did put my robot on. Yeah. Korea. Yeah, between tomorrow and Friday, I'll get to rank 20.
Awesome.
Everything goes good, and then I'll feel quite happy.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, then you know you already passed, way past the point of your mastery rank. So,
Yeah, because I think, is it 18? Mastery 18? There's one or two
yeah,
Riven mods, I think, depending on disposition, I think require that
yes,
high, but that's it. Nothing higher than that. Everything beyond that is just an additional 1,000 standing you can get with any given syndicate or organization per day,
yes,
which is nice. It
and
actually does help uh, quite a bit.
yes, does.
As a founder, I have like an additional 1,000 on top of that. Um, but it's which is insignificant in the grand scheme of things. It's like one of the few enduring perks that founders have, other than actually having Excalibur Prime
Yeah,
and Lato
I'm
Prime. Lato Prime in particular. Lato Prime shockingly, is actually a very good weapon. There was a long time when it was not. It was not a good weapon. It was a very bad weapon. Because the Lato Vandal did everything it did but better. This was back when the Lato Vandal you could only have gotten from like having been in closed beta testing and paid like the requisite 1 or 10 or 15 credits or whatever it was in order to get it. It's dirt cheap. It was a freebie. But it was better than the regular Lato, and it was about on a par with the Lato Prime. And the Lato Prime, a couple years back, they wound up buffing, and it is actually very strong now.
Yo,
Definitely the best in the Lato series, without a doubt. So yeah, just ready up whenever you're ready.
didn't I already?
Nope.
Well, it shows me you need to ready up, but okay.
Nope.
I check I have 106 viral essence. That's quite a lot. I didn't expect I would have so many viral essence.
Are we talking about Vitus Essence from the
Vitus essence, yes.
from
yes,
the
yes,
arbitrations?
Arbitration.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need to do more grinding for that. It's something I need to kind of be in the mood for, because then I do it, and then like I'm gone in whatever. Let me just. I forgot the shutdown augment. Oh, no.
Okay, I need to scan this for that. Oh, but I forgot about the dragon key. It's too late.
Oh well.
That way I got that.
You sure?
Yes.
Because I just got the hack.
Oh. No, but I used that air support.
Oh, I see. I forgot to bring the augment that shuts robotics down. I need to remember to equip that. There we go.
There you go.
Delicious.
This duration is not that long, but it helps. Well, if I see you nearby me, then activate it.
Oh, this gun is hit scan. It is not projectile based. That is why I'm so confused. Because it makes this very obvious and identifiable tracer effect. But it's actually it's a hit scan weapon. Oh, there's the synthesis target. Let me scan him.
Oh yeah, I can't.
One sec. Let me just ground
If I
pound him.
didn't, I forgot about the bloody.
No worries. I got the synthesis, so you get the standing at least.
Yeah, 5,222.
That's pretty substantial.
Yeah.
That's a lot of standing. Oh, here. Let me find an enemy to put this bubble on so you can see how much damage your bow will do.
I'm on my way.
Let me find an enemy here.
I found a trick to make me move much faster with Ivara.
Jump roll, jump
That-
roll, jump roll.
No, use my dash with my operator.
That too. That also works. So if you see that fusion Moa covered in that big ball, well, it's dead now because somebody else killed it. So yeah, if you get your bow out and then shoot it at something that I've actually covered in a bubble.
Okay, got now my bow, so...
So right in there. No, I think they killed it already. Just shoot it into the bubble. Yeah. Boom.
I think it did
dead.
you.
Nah, it didn't.
Oh.
No friendly fire. There was once a time, long, long ago, when the Tonkor did friendly fire. Those days are past us now.
Mm,
It didn't do very much.
but I don't know if you can see the spread of my bow, how many shots it gives.
It's a lot. Should do like 10, 13, or 7, something like that. It's a number.
Trying to count it, but it's like I think 10 or 11
Yeah, it's a lot. That sounds about right.
with one shot. Yeah, with one shot.
And because they punch through, they can hit a
It's like a
magnetized target
multi.
multiple times.
Another successful
And
mission.
those do get
Find
increased
extraction.
by having more multi-shot on. So it's well worth your time.
Yes.
Oh,
My internet might be lagging now.
help me! Help me! They're dead. Revive me. There we go. My sentinel's doing all the work. Yeah, I gotta get that robotic shutdown mod equipped, because it is too good to pass up. I cannot hear you. You're all scraggly and your audio is all messed up.
I will consider what I have learned from this skirmish.
You there? I think his internet died. I think Punkbuster's internet died. He did warn that that was a possibility. Alright, so I'm going to equip that anti-robotics augment. Yeah, he's not in the squad anymore. So let me get that anti-robotics augment equipped. Which is augments. Augments. What is it called? Yep, there he goes. Out of Discord. He did. Hopefully he'll be back. We are about to wrap this stream up though. Counterpulse is the one. Very, very handy indeed. Actually, no, I can't remove that one because I can't. I think it's really dumb that these don't count as Exilus slot mods. I think it is incredibly dumb. It should happen. Magnetize augment. Recast on the target to detonate. Enemies hit have a 20% chance to be disarmed. Passive plus 20% magnetize range. That's actually kind of up. Is he back? Is he back? I hear a badoing. I do not see. Okay, I see him in the channel, but he does not appear to be talking, which is not so good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove Counterpulse, or I'm going to put Counterpulse on there instead of Augur Reach, because I do not, strictly speaking, need Augur Reach for this build, which is mostly duration anyway, although Augur Reach is very nice for that extra bit of range. So my bubbles are going to be pretty tiny, but they don't need to be large, so it's not that big a deal. But Counterpulse is huge. Oh my gosh. Basically renders any and all. Oh wow, what is that noise? That is audio being distorted through a connection. That is a very, very tortured connection. Discord is not playing nice with you, my friend. I still have to forma that thing. I need more forma. Let's get... What is it called? Focus Land. Super Vandal. And let's get... What is it? Not the Stug. I think it's the Dual Sestra it's called. Where are you? I went right past it, didn't I? No, it's the other one. It's the other Dual Sestra. Did I put it? Yeah, there it is. I'm blind. Don't look at me. I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, so with this, we're going to do a whole lot of Daka. It's going to be... it's an energy reduction, which sucks. But I have a lot of duration, so it should be fine. Bottom line, these enemies are about to be rendered pretty trivial. The raptors specifically, they will not be shut down, I don't think, by my 3, but my 2 will put them in a bubble, and the bubble will make them die. I just want to bang this out before I have to end the stream. There we go. I have been pinged. No worries, Punk Buster. I hear you. Make sure I am in fact gaining energy. As you can see, even though I've done a Zeneric energy dash, is going up slowly, and oh my gosh, we all went the wrong way. We all went the wrong way. There's a full kilometer out. Dead. Dead. Getting out of there. Nice interrupt. It also temporarily disarms enemies, which is what another reason that augment from Mag is so useful. Yikes, 1200 ping on Warframe. That is incredibly bad. That is none too good. Am I going the right way here?
We cannot risk the Corpus developing more advanced robotics. If the Corpus
Alrighty, so we just have to get to our good friend Raptor. It's gotta be a 3-second reload time.
Corpus are heading to your location.
Discord is 2800 ping. Oh my goodness, how is Discord even functioning? That explains why you can't talk. That will do it. Okay, now for the actual resembles tricky part. I'm gonna skip the cinematic and just get down to business here. And one dead raptor. Oh, I missed. Has he got it? He's got it. What? Oh. Actually, I guess it doesn't really matter which one you do, does it?
But you have to completely cripple this facility to halt raptor production. Add it.
I'm actually gonna real quick just make sure my energy is topped up. And one last raptor should pop out. And that's a dead, that is 3 dead flying robots.
The entire factory has gone critical. Great work, Tenno. Corpus financiers will regret their investments today. Now, out of there.
So yeah, Raptor It's not very hard to kill. It's never been the toughest boss. The only reason it's tricky is like the first time you do it and you don't understand that, oh yeah, I have to actually do a thing where you pick up the little hand box and drop it in and make things explode in a fancy way. Oh really? You're gonna do that? It's gonna play music, I see. Oh, a pistol ribbon mod. Neato. I can't think of any pistol mods I absolutely need. I need to expand my ribbon mod slots. I think those are low right now. But I'll worry about that later. Yep, 2G will do it. Alright, that is going to do it for my stream. Your actions have consequences. You tell him, Stalker. Weak. Of course, I say that, but the next time he shows up, he's probably going to just destroy me, because I won't be paying much attention. Or I'll be using an incredibly fragile frame to begin with, and he'll just laugh at me. At my attempts to stay cloaked and shoot him. Alrighty, let me get Punkbuster invited again, and once I do that, that is going to have to do it for my stream today. I do this every single week at Wednesday, or on Wednesdays, hence the Warframe Wednesdays part of the title. I stream to YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, and that other one, Facebook. So any of my old streams you can see on YouTube, and whatever Twitch has up, I don't know. They used to be that you could upload previous streams, but now you can't unless you're a partner, and I'm not going through with all that right now. My brain just totally died, and I can't remember what I was trying to say. It was important, though. I know it was important. I can remember it was important. Oh yeah, I have other streams throughout the week. A Storytime Saturday stream coming up where I do read-throughs of short stories and or books that interest me and I want to bring to the rest of the world. Right now we're mostly, just about three-quarters of the way through Neil Stephenson's Snow Crash. If you like cyberpunk as a genre or setting, check that out. That one is very much worth your time. Very entertaining stuff. Borders on satire, as all great works do. Well, not all great works. Some great works do. And then on Mondays, I have a Mecha Mondays stream where I do something giant robot or mecha adjacent or related. Next Monday is what? Next Monday is the 10th, so Daemon Ex Machina for PC will not be out at that point. It's not out for another couple days after that, Thursday or Friday of that week. So I'll probably still do another stream of MechWarrior 5 then, but then subsequent streams will be Daemon Ex Machina, probably for the foreseeable future. Lots of fun, flashy, not armored core mecha shenanigans will be had by all. Alright, that will about do it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to tune in on subsequent weeks. Otherwise, have a great week and enjoy life to the fullest. Don't let it pass you by. And on that